And is this recording? Go for it. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Okay, so another bullet point as far as what we were talking about. One thing to be cautious about is excess sugars in foods. And I know you'd asked about the Amy's, and I'll touch on that here in a second. But before we get too off track in my head,
Yes.
I'd like to just discuss or talk about symptoms of excess sugar
Okay.
and what they do. So one of the things, or there's several things that excess sugar can lead to, and it's weight gain, headaches, and hormone fluctuations, as well as other related issues like type 2 diabetes, which is running rampant in America right now. Do you have anyone in your family that might be a little overweight or?
Well, it's interesting that you say that because I, as I've gotten older, I've put on some weight, and part of that I think is age, but I can't deny just even though I do feel like I do, have a good diet, it just I can't eat what I like I used to be able to eat, kind
Right.
of thing. But when I was getting all my blood work done, I asked if they could pull for diabetes because it's just a good thing to to be aware of. My great grandma had it, but it was on my adopted father's side, so it didn't run with me. But and I've dated someone that had they were, I don't know how it worked. I think they were born with it. Maybe I don't know. If the mom has it, does it transfer to the baby? I don't know if you know any of that stuff, but
I'm not. This goes back to genetics and like not really understanding fully, or there being like a little bit of a shakeup in the science world as far as research goes. I'm not 100% about diabetes, and I wish I did know more. I have some friends that her daughter was actually diagnosed with type 1, which is a totally different disease, just shares a similar name. Long story, I feel that they should name one or the other differently so they're not linked together so closely.
Yes.
But good on you for being proactive and getting the blood work done and asking for that. Even just the association adopted, not of being aware of knowing that you should ask for that type of stuff.
Are you saying that it's a rampage right now because of just the overconsumption of sugars and how our plate size is way larger than it used to be, and just how America just their portions are just out of line? Is that why it's so rampaged right now, or is that where?
I'm glad that you're as informed as you are, because a lot of people aren't aware about portion sizing, and then you're here for sugar consumption information. There's a lot of speculation to it. The doctors, scientists, researchers will say they don't know why autoimmune diseases happen. And probably partially true, but I think there's a big red herring in the room that needs to be I can't think of the right word, addressed, I guess. And I think it's not even just sugars, there's a lot to do with just processed foods in general. And again, that's something that we could go further into. I would like to do more research on it myself before I gave any information by any means.
Great.
But there's simple things you can do, like shop the perimeter of every grocery store rather than the inside aisles, because the perimeter is where there's your produce, and then your milk and your eggs in the back if you need that stuff, and then usually a dairy, or not dairy, a deli, or your breads are on the other side. All the middle aisles are just full of when I walk through those, take this for what you will, I just call it poison.
It's true.
Because it's all just chemicals, it's all synthetics.
It's true. I've never really thought of a grocery store like that.
And if you
the
think
freezer
about it,
is usually kind of in the middle. I mean, depending on the grocery store.
And
I'm glad that you brought that up. That's
there's
the meats and cool.
And there's layouts to the store to draw you to through the store. Dairy's always in the back because people, the marketers or the people that design grocery stores know that people often drink milks. Milk's always in the back. So that'll pull you through everything that's processed in the time. So a perimeter shop is a good way of going about it.
Wow, thanks, Leah. I really like that.
You're welcome. More than welcome. Okay, so with Amy's Food, before we get too far past that would be something that's on an individual basis. I'm not familiar with their whole product line, but I'm sure that there are some foods that are a little bit better than others. It's like anything. It's a business. They want to make money.
Right.
So slap a green label on it and organic and this, that, and the other. And there's definitely some steps to take to get to that point.
Yeah.
But it's still processed.
Okay.
It's still frozen. It still
Right.
sits in a warehouse for X
Exactly.
amount of time. And it could have any number of sugars, you know, buried in those ingredients
Yeah.
to make it taste better, to make you
Yeah.
like it more, and potentially still be called organic or whatever. So, but yeah, let's move on to the next subject.
Okay.
And if you have some questions,
I know I'm gonna write. Yeah, go ahead.
okay. If you have any questions, we'll address those at the end. So the next thing we're going to talk about is how many different names there's actually, how sugars are hidden in ingredients lists.
Okay.
And how many different sugars there actually are.
Okay.
Or how many different names for sugars there
Okay.
are. Would it surprise you that there's 56
56 different sugars?
different names for sugars, or for sugar?
Is this including like honey and like, we're not talking natural sugars, this is all,
This is all sugars for ingredients.
no way.
So, do you understand what that means?
I
Food
wouldn't,
manufacturers can do?
I wouldn't even know how to, I wouldn't even know how to, like, yeah, I wouldn't even know how to know.
I'm sure
those.
you've looked at ingredients lists before.
Oh, yeah.
You're fairly well informed.
56? No way.
So pretty much every ingredient that ends in the word "ose," the suffix "ose," is a different sugar. And the reason that they do this, the food manufacturers do this, is so that they can bury, hide, confuse sugars in with the rest of the ingredients to make it look like there's less sugar, to make their food taste more, as you said, yummy earlier.
Does it have to go, when the nutrition facts come down and it says sugar, does that, no matter what sugar's in there, does it have to be in the percentage though?
It does. So
Do you know what I mean?
to know how to read a nutritional
Yeah.
panel,
Yeah.
which is great that you asked, because that's another service that I provide as well.
Oh, great.
Won't touch on it today,
Okay.
just based on timing. But that's something that we can touch on another time if you'd like
I'll
to
love
join.
that, yeah.
Because yes, like ingredients are put in order of like what is the most, what is least, or most to least I should say. And sugar could be on there 2, 3, 4, 10 times if they wanted. And that's a way that food manufacturers, through their lobbyists, have lobbied to the FDA to basically jump that hurdle,
Yeah.
to make the food look better, look healthier, look more clean, more whatever adjective you want to use
Yeah.
for it. And it's just an escape for showing like this is actually horrible for you.
So what about like food dyes? Now I'm gonna have to really look at my
Yeah.
my labels, but you know sometimes they'll have like a certain dye.
Yellow number
Yeah,
5.
right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
But I'm looking for the OSE at the end, and those are all
Mhm.
different kind of sugars. Are those 56 different sugars? Are they just processed different? The kind of sugar they are? Do you know what I mean? Why is there
I'm
different
sure-
names?
I
Okay,
need to look more
We'll look
into
into
it.
this.
I believe that the different names, it's a different molecule.
Okay.
It's like on a molecular level to give it a different, the food a different
Yeah.
characteristic,
Right.
because this sugar has a little bit more sweetness,
Yeah.
or this one's maybe a little bit more bitter,
Got
or
you.
just different flavor.
Okay.
And it's just
Different flavors.
chemistry is
Yeah,
what
okay.
it is, what it comes down to.
Wow.
I would,
That just.
any question that you have, I will gladly
Okay,
look
cool.
up, because I would rather know myself and educate you in a sense that where you feel comfortable knowing that I'm actually taking the
Yeah.
time to
I
do what I
appreciate
can.
that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
100%,
Thank you.
100%. Okay, so we talked about big food, talked about FDA. So another thing that sugars do, and these hidden sugars in these processed foods, and again this comes back to like, and I'm sorry, I hate to use myself as an example,
No, it's okay.
but
It's good.
it's an easy way to relate.
For sure.
And being that I've been med-free for 3 years, I feel that the information that I've got semi-reliable.
I think
I
it's
guess.
important to share your story that
It's relatable.
relatable,
Yeah,
right?
and that's why I kind of keep asking like family members,
Mhm.
friends that you might know that
Right.
suffer from these things. We're not supposed to say that. So yeah, sugars, like I said earlier, they just lead to more inflammation in the system. They just kind of feed the disease, the illness. Damn it! I would have said that one time.
That's okay, but it was right at the end. That's what's so cool about it. You can cut that out. So let's just get back to right. I mean, it's just a little cut. You were just